We like comparing games and things here at GameRanks. It's just kind of what we do. We've compared plenty of games, we've put them in lists, hell, we've even compared a PlayStation 1 to a PlayStation 4. Since I've been playing it lately, I've been thinking a lot about Watch Dogs 2 and its interpretation of San Francisco and California, and it reminds me a lot of Grand Theft Auto 5. So instead of arbitrarily comparing the two games, since they're both open-world shooters, I want to take a look at the worlds that Ubisoft and Rockstar Games both created and compare those. Because they both tried their hardest to capture a very specific thing here in America, and I think they both succeeded in very different ways. You guys know it's me, Jake Baldino, and I'm here to talk about Watch Dogs 2 versus Grand Theft Auto 5 and how the game worlds are different. At first glance, the games do seem really familiar. It's California. There's sun, everything is bright and colorful, there's palm trees, plenty of water, boats, girls in bikinis, guys on mopeds, and kinda honestly everything in between. Now, because this is America, many people disagree, but many people consider the state of California to be a perfect vertical slice of Americanness. It's got a little bit of everything. It's got Hollywood, it's got technology, it's got beaches, it's got glitz and glam, but it also has a lot of poverty. It has dry, arid lands and lush forests and everything else. Watch Dogs 2 goes a little more specific, going more towards the reality route with a recreation of San Francisco. Now, it's important to know that Watch Dogs 2's San Francisco is designed more with fun in mind as opposed to actual realism. You know, it takes 2 minutes in the game to get from the Mission District in the heart of San Francisco all the way down to Silicon Valley, where in real life it's closer to like a 45-minute drive. But while everything in Watch Dogs 2 San Francisco is kind of condensed and compartmentalized, it does do a really good job of capturing all the specific areas and neighborhoods in San Francisco. You get the feeling that San Francisco is a very weird city. There's hippies on Haight Street, there's mansions in the hills, there's expensive apartments downtown, there's plenty of parks, there's the tourist trap of the Embarcadero with Alcatraz right across the bay. There's fog that rolls across the Golden Gate Bridge, which you can see from a very smaller version of the Presidio. It's definitely not perfect, but it's a fun area to play in, and it does seem to actually capture the vibe and the feel of San Francisco. While they got some neighborhoods wrong, there is a strong sense of the feeling of San Francisco here, and it seems like that's what they did, and they definitely succeeded. Grand Theft Auto 5, on the other hand, as usual, takes the more fictional interpretation route, displaying Los Angeles and the surrounding areas as Los Santos. And I gotta say, it's hard to beat Los Santos. It's awesome, and there's so much variety. Los Santos itself, like Los Angeles, is a big, stretched out city. There's a downtown, then there's Rockstar's interpretation of Hollywood with Vinewood, there's East LA, which is East Los Santos. GTA 5 goes above and beyond past Los Santos, recreating a lot of the fictional state of San Andreas with the foresty hills of Los Santos County. Then you can go north and see the drier, deserty, and trailer park areas of Sandy Shores and the Grand Sonora Desert, cross the Alamode Sea, and then head into the forest and explore Mount Chiliad. There's a lot going on and a lot of variety in Grand Theft Auto 5, and I think honestly that's why people love it so much, is that you can go from one place to another and get a completely different feel of a game. I would say that Watch Dogs 2 attempts this in some ways, but in much smaller ways. Grand Theft Auto 5 just seems more designed to embrace the open world chaos and fun, while Watch Dogs 2's narrative and construction is very much more focused, and its game world design definitely reflects that. It's also much smaller. I mean, Grand Theft Auto 5 has a portion of an entire state. Watch Dogs 2 has a lot more of you stopping and smelling the roses. You play the game a bit slower because a lot of it is so stealth focused. The actual level design and area design in Watch Dogs 2 caters to that. Grand Theft Auto 5, you can do basically everything. You can fly in a jet or jump out of a helicopter, so Rockstar had to give you a lot more room to play that way. But anyway, I digress. Back to my point about actually capturing the feel of Los Angeles. I think Grand Theft Auto does also succeed, just as much as Watch Dogs does with its version of San Francisco. I think honestly Grand Theft Auto 5 captures the vibe more. Sometimes by freeing yourself of trying to accurately depict a place, and then instead going into more creative interpretational route and more of a representation of things and showing actually how they are. It seems like with that you could actually capture and heighten the vibe, tone, and feel and atmosphere of a place. And I think the city of Los Santos especially is more indicative of that. Both games also have very different interpretations of NPCs or non-playable characters in the games. The people, you know, the civilians themselves in these games exist for completely different gameplay mechanics. In Watch Dogs 2, you know, thanks to the theme of being a hacker and all the hacking gameplay mechanics, you're acutely aware that every single person in the game does have some sort of identity, a job, hobbies, a bank account, and most importantly, a cell phone. You get access to these people's information through their phones, and there's a lot you can do with it. It goes with Watch Dogs 2's whole thing of an interconnected world where everybody is addicted to technology. Since you can hack into every security camera, every streetlight, every ATM, and basically anything else in between that you can think of, you really get the idea that this is a connected world with actual real-world technology. In GTA 5, let's be honest, most NPCs are just kind of fodder. They're in the way, and they're designed to be killed, or at least kind of annoy you. Everyone seems like a heightened, crazy version of a normal person in Los Santos, and that's really fitting because, you know, hey, it's Grand Theft Auto. And I think it's worth mentioning that both games attempt to kind of take a look at and maybe parody the tech center and the tech bubble of the United States. While Grand Theft Auto 5 doesn't have a Silicon Valley area, it does have big tech companies with campuses and fake products that, you know, reflect stuff we have in the real world. Watch Dogs 2 does this as well, but takes it a little bit more seriously, with multiple companies like a fake Facebook, a fake Nest, a fake Twitter, a fake Google, a fake Amazon. And Watch Dogs 2 seems to dip its toes into the parody stuff, but I think Grand Theft Auto 5 does it better. While Grand Theft Auto 5's does come off a bit more old and bitter and cynical about the whole thing, by not really focusing on the details on accurately depicting companies, I think it can do a better job of making fun of what it's trying to portray. Watch Dogs 2, the whole focus of the game are these tech companies, and because of that, since Grand Theft Auto does take a look at it at a lighter tone, I think Grand Theft Auto 5 has the upper leg, at least in terms of a parody sense. But both game worlds are definitely taking a look at and poking fun of the California lifestyle, whether it's San Francisco or Los Angeles. And I think they both do a good job at doing so, even though they are completely different and succeed in certain ways. And I think they're definitely playing to certain strengths here. You know, Watch Dogs 2's San Francisco nails the feel of a real place. Grand Theft Auto 5's Los Santos and the surrounding San Andreas more so nails the concept or idea of a place. Does that make sense? In my head it does. It's pretty obvious which one is the more fun, open-ended playground world, and which one is a hacker's paradise. I think they're both great game worlds, and since they do play to their strengths, one is better than the other for different reasons. It just goes back and forth. Is one of them objectively completely better? I don't know. Maybe? They're just both fun game worlds for completely different reasons. But like I said, they do both capture the California and American lifestyle in certain ways, and kind of deconstructing them from the inside out. So in comparing the worlds of Watch Dogs 2 and Grand Theft Auto 5, I think not only do we get a cool sense of different interpretations of California in the 21st century, but we also get a very jarring look at two completely different styles of open world games. Because Watch Dogs 2 does not play like Grand Theft Auto 5. But I do want to know from you guys in the comments which game world you prefer and why. Don't look at it necessarily in just which game can you fly a jet into a building with. Think of which game world you actually have a richer and deeper connection with. Think about which game world your character has more of a sense of place and interactivity with. You know what I mean? Let's get a little deep here. Because obviously I think most people are going to say Grand Theft Auto 5 is a better game than Watch Dogs 2. But try and leave me a list down in the comments which one does which thing better. Which game looks better visually? Which game feels more lived in? Which game has better NPCs? Which game has better verticality? Let's talk about this stuff. Personally, I'm a bit more partial to Grand Theft Auto 5 San Andreas, but that's just me. I want to hear from you guys down in the comments. You guys should know this already, but newcomers, clicking the like button helps us out a ton, and subscribing is a good idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.